Hey guys, I'm Captain Mike. This is Whiskey and Literature. I do both whiskey and book reviews, and tonight it is Larceny Barrel Proof B524. I picked this up very early July. Went into one of those large chain grocery stores that also has a liquor store, and looking for the Russell Reserve 15, as I've been just trying to find that lately. Can't find it anywhere. She's like, no, I don't have the Russell Reserve 15. I looked over on the shelf, and she had the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B524 and the Larceny B524. She wouldn't sell me both of them, but Mrs. Captain was sitting in the car. So how about the Elijah Craig, and send Mrs. Captain in for the Larceny, so I have them both. I do have a pour here as well of the A124 just to compare. This was one of the lowest rated Larceny Barrel Proofs, if you will, that's been out in a while. So we'll see if how they did with the B524. Let's go through the specs and stats of it really quickly and then get to it. This is 68% corn, 20% wheat, and 12% malted barley. Larceny is, of course, wheaters or wheated bourbons. It does say on the back that this is batched between 6 and 8-year-old bourbons. This it's barrel proof, so each batch is different. They put out 3 batches per year. The A, B, and the C batch. So that's how it's labeled, right? B524. So you have an A, B, and C batch. The 5 for 524, that is the month, May, that it came out, and 24 is the year. This one is bottled at 125.4 proof. That's up there. And it is uncut and unfiltered. Again, being barrel proof means they didn't add any water to it, and it is non-chill filtered. B524 availability, it's not really great. It's out there, but it doesn't sit on the shelf. They are there, and people walk in and they buy them. There was 2 on the shelf, or one Elijah Craig and one Larceny. I just bought them both, and that's the way it is when they hit all the stores. So basically I'm saying, if you see one and you want one, you better grab it. I paid, I think, $69.99 for this bottle, which is, I think, slightly above MSRP. But it is what it is. It was great just to be able to walk in and find it, not even really hunting for it, but I picked it up. It's one of those that I'm always having in the back of my mind, right? I'm not necessarily hunting the B524, but if I see it, I'm definitely going to pick it up. And I also have a list on my phone of the Elijah Craig and the Larceny batches that I have, because occasionally I'll run across an older batch just at different stores. And so I want to be able to know, okay, do I have the C919? I don't know. So for me, it's useful to have a copy of what I have for when I'm out and about. So I'm only been collecting, purchasing, and drinking the barrel proofs from Elijah Craig and Larceny for less than 3 years now. Anyway, okay, let's get it. Have you had this? What are your thoughts on it? Are you a fan of the Larceny? Are you more Elijah Craig, or do you get them both? Let us know. 124 proof. I can stick my schnoz all the way in there. A little bit of alcohol on there, but it's pretty soft, sweet. Lots of caramel coming off, but it's got a spicy component to it as well. So it's sweet and spicy, caramel, peppery. It's a nice nose. It's pretty basic, but it's very welcoming and not overrun with heat on the nose. All right, let's go. Cheers, my guys. Larceny Barrel Proof B524. Starting off with just a little sip there. It is really heavy on the spice initially. Spicy and cinnamon, but it's fruity at the same time. There's a nice amount of sweetness is balancing out that spice mixture. It has a chocolate profile to it as well. It's a nice deep dark chocolate. I enjoy, if I go buy a chocolate to enjoy with some wine or something, or even with some whiskey, I'll buy the heavy, 90%, 95% chocolate. That's just really, I really like those dark, deep chocolates. And I'm getting that kind of a note right now. It's just deep and rich chocolate. Still some of that spice, still the caramel. Right there on the back end there is that chocolate component to it. Just a hint of nutty, it's almost like a nutty chocolate. I've become a fan of the Larceny barrel proofs. I was really more with the Elijah Craig's, and even with the spiciness that came off of the A124, I'm still a fan, and so far this is really hitting the right notes for me. It is drinking every bit of 125 proof, 124 proof, sorry. There's no doubt of that proof level coming off. I'm taking, wow, it's just, again, that rich chocolate note just punching through everything. But it's not, it's an initial spice, but then it's a chocolate nutty note coming through. I'm also going to give it just, I think that sweetness component is, it's almost like a chocolate covered raisin. I was thinking a chocolate covered nut, but also there's that raisiny nut, a raisiny note in there as well. It's a nice fruity mixture. But it's still, I mean, it's got a huge amount of spice in it. Again, I'm kind of more into this these days. Let's throw a little bit of water in here. When I share my whiskeys with other people and they want to add some ice or some water to it or some Coca-Cola, you know, whatever, I tell them that's fine. But please just take a sip of it neat first. At least take a neat sip, and then if you want to throw some Dr. Pepper on it, you know what, be my guest. Again, Ralphie, if you've seen Ralphie, he's a big advocate for putting water in your whiskey. So why not? Let's go back in. Wow, you know, it also changed the nose on it as I was going to take my sip. You know, you're breathing that in as you're doing that, and it just softened the edges of the whiskey. It tamped down that chocolate note a little bit, and it allowed that fruit note to shine a little more. Some of that sweetness to come forward, some of that caramel, some of that raisin. It also did dump down the chocolate note as well, but man, it actually definitely changed, or let some of the notes shine more while it rounded off the edges of that spice. So my suggestion with these high proof whiskeys is always sip it neat first, and then feel free to just drop some water in there, because it definitely changed it and made it really nice. I like it. I'm a fan of the B524. If I take a sip of this water and go back to the A124, I think it has a nice balance of that spiciness and the sweetness. I really enjoy that chocolate note, that raisin note. Big fan of raisins. I feel like on a couple of these whiskeys recently, I've gotten that raisin note. This is the A124. Just nose is a little spicier. Just going. Here we go, guys. Wow. Okay, I've had some whiskey now, so I don't know if it's that or what, but I'm not getting those fruity notes on the A124. I've only had a small sip of that just now, but I'm not getting that same. It's more spicy and spice forward. I would have to drink some more of that really to compare, but overall, just a quick comparison, I do prefer this. It is, again, hit all those nice roundness, right? Nice proof level. The price point's pretty good, 69 bucks. Availability is not so great, but nice nose, nice flavor profile. I'm a fan. I think if you come across a Larceny barrel proof, the B524, you should pick it up. I haven't opened my Elijah Craig B524 yet, but looking forward to that. But this to me is definitely a hit, especially side by side with the A124. That's my thoughts, guys. How about you? Have you had this? Do you just avoid the Larceny? You just can't find it in your area? I don't know. I do see these on a regular basis. They sit on the shelf a little bit more than Elijah Craig's, but they shouldn't, because it's a pretty solid bottle. All right, guys, if you enjoyed the video, like it, subscribe to see more of my content. I do both whiskey and book reviews. But for now, my friends, you know what to do. I hope you're reading something good and drinking something great. Turn the page and stay thirsty, my friends. Cheers.